Hi traders, happy Sunday. Today is the 27th of July, summer. Here in Liechtenstein in my office, it's not summer, it's actually quite rainy. And I don't really remember that amount of rain in July, but okay. So last week I was able to be in Venice. So I visited a business partner. So I got a little bit of sun, but overall, so far summer lets us waiting a little bit. Guys, I wanted to take you, obviously, with my YouTube channel. I want to have you participate on my journey, being a trader for 2 decades. Worked my really a lot to be, let's say, reach the level where I am right now. I think stuff is being made way too complicated, like it is, like it truly is, I believe. Just wanted to touch base with you, talking a little bit about last month, talking about the month of July, and how trading overall went and how you can participate with it. Okay, the stuff what I'm using, I believe, is indicators or tools which make a lot of sense. It's not just a nice visuals on the chart, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And you can check them out for free, guys. Just as a hint, if you want to sign up, you have the opportunity here in the step 1, select your plan, click here, and then you basically can get our free one here, join for free. You basically are able to use my tools for free, or our brand and my tools for free. And I think that's a really good thing, and there's a real added benefit. Last month, I made really over 75,000 USD. Biggest portion was in the crypto space. That was the reason why I want to talk about this in this video. Main reason for this, I want to talk about this and want to take you with me to the journey, how you ideally can work on your trading results as well. As you know, guys, trading is risky. There is no guarantee in life there, and for sure not in trading. So please be aware that trading, whatever you do, maybe if you trade crypto, there's a substantial risk. Be aware of it. And and keep in mind that the trading is risky and you can have substantial losses. When there's substantial losses, obviously there's also opportunity. Last month was a great month, and let me show you first the results. So basically that we start from there. I'm dividing basically my really speculative trading into 2 parts. The one is really the day trading part, which I do through futures. I do this. I trade futures in the here in the crypto space, so perpetual futures, but I also use traditional financial futures like the Nasdaq or like the E-mini S&P to trade. In this video, I want to talk more about the crypto space and want to show you the results here. I made money in both categories. First of all, we talked about the futures. So let this load. P&L analysis. 30 days, up 26,000. Was a nice run, frankly speaking, and I had a few banner days standing out. We'll talk about this in a bit. This is more or less the day trading activity. Why I'm using this perpetual futures. Why? Because I have enough money to hold spot as well. And in addition to this, the funding fees I try to avoid. And as I want to avoid the funding fees, so basically having to pay to hold a position, or if I'm short, being paid, that's also true. I hold positions in the spot market, and I want to show you the results here as well. The UI looks a little bit different, but as you can see, it's about a 50,000 profit. Yeah, that's about it. Having said that, so overall, it was how much was 50,000, and the other one was how much? 25. 26. Okay, so 76,000, and I made obviously some money somewhere as well. Traditional futures was about 10,000 last month, so 80,000 month. I want to talk you through though how you can trade in the same manner, what you can do, and it's not about me showing off. It's about you hopefully getting an additional benefit or added value from what I'm trying to achieve here. The main trade, what I did obviously was geared towards the long side. So idea was I want to trade towards the long side, meaning I want to trade for a price increase. Okay, so if you're new, if you hear this the first time, trading long means that we basically want to trade that the market or hope that the market goes up. Most of the profits I achieved in two markets. The one was Solana, the other one was Ethereum. We'll talk about this in a little bit. I start here with Bitcoin, obviously, because this, I would say, is the anchor of our whole crypto space. And as we can see, Bitcoin led the way in the last couple of months, was a super strong market. We broke out to new all-time highs here in, actually 2 weeks ago, so mid of July, we made new all-time highs. And obviously we had, because of this, a bullish sentiment, a bullish overall sentiment in the crypto space. And that's pretty good and gives us opportunity to find in other markets as well. Okay, so crypto, Bitcoin means that Bitcoin is a good chunk of the market, is about 60 till 70% of the overall crypto market. So to give you one idea, and Bitcoin started to rally in June, and we made new all-time highs in July. Maybe we will make new all-time highs in a couple of weeks. I don't know. My guess is we will. But talking about the past, mainly my trading, what happened here in Ethereum, and I will take you with me. I will basically have you participate in the trades. What I did, I entered the positions here in this green zone here, and basically afterwards the market started to skyrocket, and I scaled out. So I sold most of my other positions on the way up. Okay, I have a little bit left, but overall I entered here and I sold most of the position in that kind of area. Having said that, amazing. Having said that, it's not just about, let's say, maximizing the income. It's always for me about having a good reward risk, because overall, yes, you can see the market rallied quite a bit. So making money here on the long side is quite normal, I guess, and it's expected. But it's about how you make the money, because gambling is not trading, trading is not gambling. And so I want to take you with the journey of my analysis. I want to take you with me on the journey, how I executed the trades and why I took these decisions. Okay, so first of all, we said that Bitcoin is quite bullish, and overall, this gave us a little bit of a confidence boost that the altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, all the other market in the crypto space has a good opportunity to follow. All right, so overall sentiment is bullish. Then we had the case that in the last couple of weeks, especially in May, Ethereum had a turnaround from being hammered down. As you guys can see here, we had a sadly a very brutal sell-off here over a couple of months, that we were able to lift here. Okay, we started to be able to lift here. We were trading up, and we formed a so-called sideways range. If you don't know what a sideways range is, this is basically this here. Okay, so the market was trading sideways, and this was a good solid base to try to find some entry. The original trigger then came in this chart, finding it, or let's say giving us the confidence to enter the trade when the market rallied, or let's say had a sell-off on the weekend to the south. So the market basically had a small mini crash. And here then, because the market started to bounce and started to show real stability, I built up a position here. And I think the position here wasn't crazy big, but I think it was about 120,000 USDT, and then the move was actually quite big. Okay. Having said that, in terms of market structure, there was a sideways range, then there was a breakout below the range, and the market participants immediately stepped in and formed basically here, or confirmed here, the low of this range for me. Okay, so in terms of classical chart theory, this was it. Okay, so when I go now into our indicators, This was basically how it looked like in our heat map. We had the sell-off here. Let me check. That was it exactly. We had a huge run to the upside in the crypto space, so in Ethereum, obviously. And we had here finally taking out some bigger liquidations to the upside. Normally, bigger liquidations means, hey, there is some room now to breathe. And what happened then? We started to try to look for the bottom of this range. And please, guys, remember when we have a look at this, the range here, the low is about 2,300 USDT. And this is about here. That's about here. And this was the bottom of the range. And what we see then was a beautiful move to the downside. We saw some executions or liquidations to the lower side, and that was actually then what I was looking for. We saw some bigger liquidations to the downside, so meaning leveraged positions had to leave the market and cleared out the way actually for the bulls to form something bigger. So that was trigger number one, or trigger number one to be allowed to enter, because we had liquidations to the downside, cleared up the way. Let's say that the leveraged positions on the long side are out of the market. And then let's talk about how I really then started to execute the trade. So first of all, to talk about this a little bit again, first of all, we had a sideways range. We had a confirmation of the sideways range, obviously here in the daily chart, in the hourly chart, in our liquidation heat map. Then we had the case that we saw liquidations to the downside. Was then a good idea to get involved because we saw that liquidation. So this was a kind of formed like an A+ setup. And then I started to trade and find for reasons to get involved. This is now something what I wanted to go to my TradingIQ chart, because here it became where I started to execute. So let's go. Where have we been? Let me check out the date again. Sorry, I don't want to mess this up. So 22nd of June. Okay. Excuse me. So we had so what you can see here is basically with TradingIQ, my tools, what I'm using. TradingIQ basically consists out of 3 parts, and we have finalized TradingIQ now. TradingIQ consists of paint bars, meaning blue means bullish, red means bearish, and then in the middle we have a kind of a gray sections, means that we don't have any setup involved. In addition to this, we have RADI-MA, and the RADI-MA is this moving average is a self-learning average, which you can set to the time frame what you want. I use here a 30-minute chart because it's pretty good combination with a 5-minute chart what I'm using here, and that's actually the chart I'm using, a 5-minute chart all across the markets. Okay, TradingIQ automatically is able to detect multi-time frame breakouts, multi-time frame market structure, and this is actually what I do. So this indicator is able to identify market structure shifts in the bigger time frames, but also in the smaller time frames, and then starts to paint a picture. It paints bullish, and when the market basically is in an uptrend, meaning it will turn blue, or let's say this greenish bluish. It will become gray if the market becomes neutral in the bigger and smaller time frame, and it starts to become red when the market turns bearish in the multi-time frame analysis. Okay, so in addition to this, I am using here this filter, which is called RADI-MA, which is a self-learning AI-based moving average. It's quite a good tool. It's basic in combination. It's, in my opinion, very, very useful. What I'm doing basically is the following. I'm a guy I'm 44 years old now today, and what happens is that if I put a lot of eggs in one basket, I have to basically be confident. Meaning I will most of the time trade small. I won't go crazy. So I will try to get, let's say, try to achieve a 1K profit on a daily. This is what I do in the streams as well. But if I have high confidence with the setups, what we had here as well, I'm becoming a little bit more, let's say, aggressive. Why? Because confidence, my experience, and my indicators show me the same picture. So what we had here is then on the 22nd, we had the sell-off. This was here in that region when I was talking about these liquidations taking place. We saw that in the other chart as well. And then the market started to turn. The raw DMA started to turn here, which was a first good sign that the market has the possibility to, let's say, to calm down a little bit and maybe even increase in value. Market structure was already bullish. And so this means that normally in theory, I'm able and allowed to trade to the long side. So having said that, I already started to build up positions in that area. Plus, I then started to add to the positions when we had then breakouts to the upside. And this is the beautiful thing when you are confident, that when you are confident, you're able to build up positions and size. Meaning, let me just make this a little bit thicker. Meaning, when everything is aligned, then you're able to really achieve great results. And this is something what happened here. There was a sell-off, as mentioned. So sell-off, but overall market is bullish. So Bitcoin was bullish. First reason why I'm interested. Second, we had the liquidations to the downside, what I've shown you before in our IQ liquidation heat map. So let's go once more to this. So we had here the liquidations to the downside. So basically, there's a good opportunity that the selling is done. And then third, we had here raw DMA and raw DIQ turning long. Third. So then it's just about how much risk you want to take. And obviously, guys, it's always better to start out with a smaller risk because, and this is exactly what I did as well. I didn't go with a 100K, 100K, 120K position right away. I was trading it initially, let's say with 25, 30K, and then started to become more aggressive as soon as the market started to show me that it wants to. And how did I realize this? Why? This happened exactly here. Market turned bullish. In the end of the day, market started to climb in value. Raw IQ was long, raw DMA was long, and that's a perfect setup and scenario to achieve this. Will there be times, obviously, when there's a small pullback? Yes, no doubt, but the overall setup for me was bullish, and that's exactly why I was trading to the long side. I was also taking profits, as said, and I think that it also makes sense to take partial profits as well, because not all the time the market will just rally in one go. That's sadly not taking place, but overall this went quite well. So let me just double check about the spot analysis. And as you can see, what's this? No, this is a future analysis. Let's have a look at the spot one. Yeah, I was already in positions here, as you guys can see, a little bit of pullback, and then the market really started to lift here, and I added two positions here around the 10th and 11th of July, and this is here exactly when the market started to really go crazy, and started to lift even more. What I'm trying to say is the following: when you have the confidence in something, you will trade towards this. Basically this trend. Always great and super important to trade with the trend. You can see here a perfect example, in my opinion, what I can give you here for free. Roddy trend basically goes long. One trade, second trade, and then obviously here this is this huge winning trade, which obviously will not happen all the time, but sometimes it just works out beautifully, and then you will achieve great results. Why I'm making this video is not to show off again. I think you have a good opportunity here to use these tools, because I think this makes most of the sense, what I think will help you to improve your results. Why? Because again, raw IQ will keep you on the right side of the market. And I just want to show you this concept again real quick. What we do here, or what the indicator does, we look at, as I mentioned before, to multi-time frames, not just this 5-minute chart, but also 15 and 1 hour chart. So basically it means if we plot something, it's a combination of 15 minutes and 30 and 1 hour combined with a 5-minute chart. And this is, I think, super, super important, because you want to go with the overall trend. You don't want to scalp just for a few points. Okay, so you want to be able to trade with a bigger trend. And in this example, we clearly give you, or let's say the self-learning algorithms give you clear advice when to trade long and when to trade short. Will there be losers? Yes, but obviously the winners will basically be way bigger than the small losers. All right, because here we had a short trade, as you can see, we went into here short. There was some movement to the downside. Okay, quite a bit, 130 points. Market started to correct to the downside, and then here, obviously, this would have been a bad entry here to the short side. So market basically started to recover, and then though the market turned bullish again here, and TradingIQ was long, and there was enough opportunity to make back this bad trade to the what we had here on the short side. So what I'm trying to say here, try this out, guys. I think this is the best tool, I think, which is available in TradingView, or one of the best tools, or at least a combination. I used for these results, I used the liquidation heat map, regular technical analysis, and here then really this kind of tool, TradingIQ, and that's basically it. Yeah, and that's basically it, what I did. And yeah, having said that, obviously my results in the regular trading space on the traditional futures are also quite okay. Last month it was up around 10K. Good month. I'm happy with it because it pays all my bills. I'm not a guy who spends too much. I guess quite normal. But what I'm doing here is as well really the same. Just I'm here just day trading. I use prop firms to day trade, and I use prop firms a lot because I'm really convinced about it. And what we saw here is, what we can see here is that the concept is actually the same. I do use TradingIQ. I use it in combination, in this example, with a 5-minute chart and 15-minute chart. I mean, you can change this how you like it. You can play around. And what I do actually is I trade again in direction what TradingIQ tells me in combination with the trend. And that's basically it, guys. I would like to invite you to try it out. I think it's a super good tool. You can try it 100% for free. I would say 90% of our tools are included into this. In our paid one, there is some other stuff included, which is more, let's say, people like it who want to trade automatically, which is also something what I do. But overall, if you are new to this, you can try it out for free if you basically sign up with our sponsored exchanges. I think it's a fair deal. We call it a gentleman's agreement, because you get, in my opinion, the best tools which is available in the industry, not just TradingView, but the industry. And yeah, and I hope that you can profit from this. So if you have questions, guys, let me know. If you have some feedback, also let me know, because I'm here to learn as well. My YouTube channel is pretty fresh. And yeah, would like to wish you a beautiful Sunday and a beautiful week. And what I will try to do is I want to enjoy August quite a bit. We don't know how the markets will act anyways. So I will try to obviously find A+ setups, really good setups, but in summer also maybe take a little bit time to relax. Having said that, thank you very much. Have a great time. And be careful when trading. As I mentioned before, in trading, there is risks involved. Be careful, trade smart. And if you have questions, just let me know. And also, ideally, join my streams when I do trade live all my accounts and also props. Thank you very much. Goodbye from Roddy. Ciao.